The second thing I'm going to do, and this is actually a little bit painful for me, and let me tell you why. First of all, I always talk about our sponsor, which is Sports Trading Systems. And a lot of people know this, but some people don't. My name is John Todora. They call me the Sports Trader, and I actually own and control Sports Trading Systems. Excuse me. I work for What's on Sports as the host of the show and doing a couple other things. But, excuse me, Sports Trading System is mine. We use back-tested analytics over there, and we teach people how to trade sports just like they trade stocks. We also have a system that sends out alerts. If you don't want to do the work, we'll do it for you. Anybody that's followed our system throughout basketball season so far this year at sportstradingsystems.com is up over 90% on their money. So if you put $1,000 into a bankroll at the beginning of the year, you have almost $2,000 right now. We're a quarter of the way, a little bit past a quarter of the way through the basketball season. So what we do, to me, is like sports magic. It's really amazing. There are a lot of people who don't understand, Lance, a lot of people don't understand the markets. Now, if we talk about the stock market and what recently happened, what you know about the stock market and what we've always known is that the big players will always make more than the small players like us. If you don't have millions and billions, you cannot influence the market like other people can. You don't get the information people do. You don't have the power to leverage the different areas of the market, and you don't have the influence to be able to get the people on TV to say what you need them to in order to move stocks in one direction or the other. So that's very well known. The guys on Reddit finally took control back a few weeks ago. I think you know about that. You know what happened over there. They invested a bunch of money. They crushed a bunch of hedge funds. Billions of dollars were lost. It was an amazing play to show people how crooked the stock market is. There will be an investigation. I seriously doubt anything will ever be done because there are too many people with too much money that control what happens over there. But what I always tell people is in the gambling market, there are no such powers in control. I do, however, make a caveat, and I do mention on occasion the fact that you will watch a game every once in a while, and right before the game, the announcers come out and they tell you some cool trends, and you're like, oh, that trend makes sense, and you make a last-minute bet. Those trends are always on the opposite end of where the public money is. So, for example, right now, 56% of all the public money is on Kansas City. 56%. So most of America thinks the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Well, Pat McAfee, who happens to be one of my favorite shows to watch. I love Pat McAfee, and I've loved Pat McAfee for a long time. To me, he's just a great personality. Excuse me. He's put together a great show over there, good cast of characters. And to be honest, I do have an affinity for Pat McAfee because he's from Pittsburgh, and I've always tried to be a fan of anybody who comes from the area. Pat is sponsored, and you and I talked about this before the show. Pat is sponsored by whom?
FanDuel. FanDuel sponsors the show. Yeah.
That's right. Now, he's not an affiliate of FanDuel, and let me explain to what happens to people out there. You could be an affiliate. You could put up an ad, and if somebody clicks on the ad, you make a little bit of money off the ad. You make some money every time somebody goes and signs up for FanDuel. Pat McAfee's deal is a different one. It's a cash deal where FanDuel is paying him X amount of dollars every year in order to be the sponsor of that show. He works directly for FanDuel or indirectly, however you want to look at it. When you have a sponsor, you work directly for them. On his show yesterday, Pat McAfee came out and couldn't even say it with any type of true meaning, but said that he was going to bet $30,000 on Tampa. Now, what you saw there is a manipulation of the market. Pat McAfee knew he was doing it. The way he answered, I believe this is what happened. I believe this is what happened. I have no proof of this. I believe this is what happened. I believe that Pat McAfee whispered out that he was going to bet Tampa Bay, whispered that he was going to bet $30,000, and he did it in order to manipulate the market for FanDuel. There's data someplace that's showing that when Pat McAfee tells people to do things on FanDuel, that X amount of dollars or X amount of percentage happens. And the books are getting worried that they're going to get crushed. Because if Kansas City wins, and a lot of people don't understand how a bookmaker works. FanDuel and all those guys, their job is to keep the money even. They want 50-50 because they make money off the juice. In order to bet $100, you have to bet $110. The casino keeps $10. That's how they make their money. Pure volume and keeping it even. Well, no matter how they move the line, people are going to have money on Kansas City. So they talk to somebody, they talk to an advocate like McAfee, and they say, hey, do me a favor. Tell people you're going to bet on Tampa. Just say you're going to bet on Tampa and say it's going to be a big number. So he whispers. You can go back and look at it. He whispers, I'm going to put $30,000 on Tampa. I believe that Pat McAfee is using the influence that he has gained and duly earned with a great show. I believe Pat McAfee is influencing the betting market. Do you think I'm crazy?
No, I guess it's a well thought of argument because, as you know, we all have influencers here and there. So we live in an influencer age right now. So not just in sports, but in beauty, everything. So one word from a so-called influencer can help manipulate whatever trend you want to happen. And going outside sports, so one of the people that I can compare what Pat McAfee just did is, remember Jim Cramer from Mad Money? So he was implicated before of like manipulating stocks. So
Yes.
his word is like gold in the
Exactly.
stock market industry. So I guess in a subtle way, that's what Pat McAfee did. And it would be interesting to see how the money has changed after that subtle comment from him.
100%. I believe that's what happened. I believe because there's a lack of regulation in sports gambling right now. Sports gambling is only legal in about half the states, a little bit less than half the states across the country. I believe it will become legal in almost every state by the time 2022 hits, especially now with everybody with all these financial problems. Every state with a financial problem is going to look for ways that they can gain new tax money. So you're going to see we've already seen a boom. We've already seen an evolution of sports gambling. It's going to grow even bigger, which is great for our industry. But these are the kind of things that you have to be careful of. This isn't you and I having a conversation, not caring what casino you bet in, saying that I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win. This is a guy who has a vested interest in a casino coming out and saying, I'm going to put money on the team that has less public money on it, trying to influence. And I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, Pat, I apologize. But I this is what I see. This is what I see happening. If you watch what happened, just the information, and then you watch the way that he says, I'm gonna put $30,000 on them. Like, it wasn't your typical Pat McAfee bluster. I know you watch McAfee sometimes. McAfee's a loud, boisterous guy. This wasn't that. This was Pat McAfee trying to manipulate the market, and I believe that's exactly what happened. And I'm going to do some research. I'm going to find out if it made a difference with FanDuel. FanDuel will list their information publicly, and I will find out for sure. And if I see a big number swing, then I'm going to be right. I feel like I'm going to be right about this. I just wanted to touch on it. I know I just literally shit on the most popular NBA player in all of the world, and then I just crushed one of the most beloved sports figures in America right now. But I just kind of had to say it. I believe it's true. That's how we're going to do the show, and we're going to move on. Touchdown!